Welcome to the NBA here on 2K Sports. The NBA regular season tips off. It's going to be the Charlotte Bobcats up against the Chicago Bulls. See you later.
It's an Eastern Conference matchup as the Charlotte Bobcats come into town in this one. Great to have you with us, everybody, live on 2K Sports alongside Steve Kerr and Clark Kellogg. I'm Kevin Harlan. We've got a chance now for our starting lineups from point guard to center. This game should be a good one. And, of course, Derrick Rose, among the elite players in this league, guys.
Well, guys, sometimes when he gets the ball in the backcourt, it looks like he's shot out of a cannon. He just takes off running, and it gives his team such a great push, such a surge as they try to get into the open floor to score.
And you know what? He's like a tank when he's coming down the lane. Lay into him as hard as you can. You're not going to be able to knock him off balance.
The story here, Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, injured and unable to play.
Well, Kevin, no more uncertainty about the seriousness of his injury. We only got a preliminary diagnosis after he came out of their previous game, but now they sound sure about it. Hopefully we see him back on the court in less than a month.
And we should. I mean, knowing the history of players who've had similar injuries in the past. Obviously, every player is different, but you would expect him to be back within a few weeks.
Last game for the Bulls, it was a loss to Indiana.
Yeah, it was tough to see that one coming, really, because I thought that was a game they were going to win. The final score really caught a lot of people off guard.
Yeah, but I think they really tightened up at the end, Steve. I think they were trying too hard to avoid the upset instead of focusing on going after the win. You know, coming into last season, the backcourt for Charlotte was full of question marks, but after the way Kemba Walker blossomed and some of the other guys were able to fill in and step up, their backcourt looks a lot better now.
And you can't leave him alone, especially from long range.
Here's Sessions. He had a 12-point outing in their last game against Miami.
And Kevin, his passing is what blew me away. I mean, to see him orchestrate their offense so impeccably, that was a sight to behold.
And even though the Bobcats would finish near the bottom of the barrel again, they did show that they have some pieces to build around. Steve, not only Walker, but also Michael Kidd-Gilchrist as well.
Yeah, I like Jeffrey Taylor, the young forward from Vanderbilt. They drafted Cody Zeller from Indiana, who looked really good in the summer league, and he's proving to be a pretty solid player in the NBA. So this is a team that is starting to add some talent to this roster.
Now here's Rose. 38 points for him last game against Indiana.
He got some huge points from the foul line, too, Kevin. He was very aggressive, generating contact and drawing fouls.
Let's find out what Doris Burke has for us.
Kevin, I had a chance to speak with the head coach for the Charlotte Bobcats. He said that their defensive focus, no surprise, will be trying to keep Derrick Rose out of the lane. He added, you know he's come a long way as an outside shooter, but he's a pick-your-poison type of player. We can't let him get into the paint. Makes sense, Kevin.
All right, Doris, can't get it to go. Looking at the last game for the Charlotte Bobcats, it was a loss to Miami.
Well, shooting as poorly as they did, there was very little chance they were going to win that game, guys.
Yeah, there was sort of a snowball effect in the game that I saw. I mean, what started as a cold night for a few guys became contagious and became a cold night for everybody. Noah, once again, had a really solid season, but his field goal percentage numbers dropped from where they had been the past few years. I think part of it was not having Derrick Rose on the floor, and then also he was hurt. Plantar fasciitis bothered him some. But not having Rose, I think, led to Noah forcing the issue a bit.
Perseverance paying off on the offensive boards, guys.
Bulls shooting their first free throw of the evening. And speaking of Noah, some dip into his finishing numbers. You wonder if his injuries played a part in that.
Yeah, Coach Thibodeau rode him pretty hard. A career high in minutes. In fact, second most per game among centers in the NBA last season. And we remember he had the a foot injury during the playoffs. He's always had some health issues, but he's battled through them.
Are you surprised that he's become the warrior that he's become in the NBA?
Not really, Kevin. He was a winner at Florida, a guy who loved to play. He's got a lot of passion for the game.
Outside Butler, just 5 on the clock. No good on the triple. Bobcats trail by 6. And Sessions kicks to Gordon. That falls. Great assist by Ramon Sessions. Gordon's got himself going there. His first points of the game on the deep ball. Rose with the ball. Now defended by Sessions. Sessions against Rose. Let's go. In time, he gets the jumper to fall. Rose has got his second bucket of the night.
Steve Clifford has 13 years of experience as an NBA assistant coach with stops in New York, Houston, Orlando, and Los Angeles, and now as the new coach in Charlotte. I think he's the guy that's going to do well there.
Now here's Henderson, hoping to put that miserable performance against Miami behind him tonight. Rebound by the Bulls. Butler's got his third rebound on the night.
This quarter has not been his best. The defense may be starting to affect him a little bit.
Shoots it. Another one falls for Chicago. And Clifford, the 6th head coach in the Bobcats' 10-year history streak.
Well, he's a defensive-minded coach. Always been highly regarded around the league. I think he's going to make a good impact in Charlotte.
Now here's Gordon. It's stolen by Rose. The finish rips down the breakaway slam.
Well, this is how you completely rattle an opponent's rhythm.
Yeah, you know, such terrific on-the-ball defense to trigger the transition opportunity.
And it wasn't just the tough D, it was the exclamation point they put on the fast break with the slam.
And it's the Bobcats with the ball. The Bulls getting the bucket. Henderson passes to Jefferson. Working on Noah. Baseline jumper. And Jefferson gets it to go. Jefferson's got his second basket.
The turnaround jumper, that was a thing of beauty.
Butler with the ball. And it's Gordon picking him up. He dishes it to Boozer. Pass to Dang. Fades away. Again, Chicago.
Such a great start for him. 4 for 4 already. He could be on his way to a big game.
It certainly looks that way, Steve. His energy level has been terrific right from the opening tip.
And now the first timeout called here for the Bobcats. And going against Chicago, their first meeting of the season.
This game kicks off what should be an interesting season series between these clubs. And, of course, they'll see each other 4 times this year.
Biombo, he's checked in for the Bobcats. Bobcats trail by 9. Well, as Steve was saying, Clark, you know, they're in the same conference. There's going to be a lot of familiarity there. And who knows, after that, they may see each other in the playoffs, too, if all goes right for them there.
Well, that's certainly a possibility, Kevin, but we've got a long way to go before that scenario comes to pass.
That's right. Here's Butler, following the basket by Gerald Henderson. Butler kicks it to Noah. Outside Dang. Just 5 to shoot. Baseline try, cannot hit. And it's the Bobcats taking it the other way. The dish to Butler. Back to Rose. The kick outside to Butler. Here's Dang. Drills it from outside. Dang's got 11 points.
They've been hot here early, dropping them in left and right.
Let's see how long they can keep it going. This is quite a start.
Biombo kicks to Henderson. Charlotte moving the ball around. Passes it to Sessions. Back to Gordon. That ball's great assist by Ramon Sessions. Sessions has got 3 assists tonight. The Bulls leading by 8. Rose dishes to Butler. The pass to Boozer. Right side Dang. Noah kicks to Rose. Fires the 3. Sessions with the rebound. Bobcats trail by 8. Pass to Gordon. Gordon off a bit from Biombo. Gordon kicks to Sessions. Zeller. So he gets the whistle. Contact on the way up and 2 shots coming up.
Well, the Bulls battled in last year's postseason. Got a Game 7 win in Brooklyn to sneak out of round one in what was one of the more interesting series of the first round, but then fell to the Heat in round two.
No good on the free throw. And for the Bulls, no Rose the whole time. And they had questions constantly being asked if he would return. But the team came together, Steve, and showed the Bulls aren't just a one-man show.
You know, they missed him, though, Kevin. I mean, desperately. I thought they performed admirably, but they really needed him against the Heat. They were able to steal game one in that Eastern Conference semifinal matchup, but without him, the Bulls just didn't have enough firepower to beat Miami.
Well, you know, this last offseason, the Bobcats announced their intention to change the team name to the Hornets, reclaiming the name of the original Charlotte franchise that left for New Orleans in 2002.
Bobcats trail by 7. Adrian off the pick from Biombo. Adrian passes to Parker. Misses the three. Chicago's gotten just 2 of 6 to fall from three-point range so far in the first. Back to Heinrich. Teague up top. Dishes to Heinrich. And there's the feed to Dunley. Takes a shot at the elbow. And too long on the shot. And just like New Orleans chose a name, the Pelicans, that has local significance, the Hornets, a historical reference to Charlotte's rebellious fighting spirit during the American Revolution. Steve, you were just telling me about this. Fascinates you.
It does. I'm an American history buff, Kevin, and I'm also an NBA history buff. And you think back to the Hornets in Charlotte originally, they sold out for 9 straight seasons. So the Hornets nickname absolutely belongs in Charlotte.
And it's out of bounds. The Bobcats will take it the other way. Let's take a second to see the teams that have been the toughest inside this season so far. Number 5, the Bulls.
Talking about block shots. You want block shots? Talk to these guys. They've done a terrific job this year in that category. Outstanding.
Bobcats trail by 7. Pargo kicks to Biombo. Feeds it to Taylor. He dishes it to Adrian. Lets it go. Money from the wing. Pargo's got his first basket. Heinrich with it. He's been patient so far. Nothing yet on the scoreboard. Here's Gibson. Biombo with the block. Here's Adrian. Kicks it to Pargo. He passes it to Taylor. He feeds it to Pargo. With the shot, he squares up and sinks it. Pargo's got his second bucket of the game to go. And the first time out of the game called for Chicago.
People have talked about the defensive renaissance in Chicago as a big part of their turnaround, and that's accurate. Bibbs has done wonders for this team defensively, but another aspect is that they've had one of the deepest benches in the league the past few years, too.
So for the Bobcats, Brendan Haywood, he's checked in for Bismack Biyombo. And Josh McRoberts subbed in for Zeller. Chicago leading by 3. Go back to what you said, Clark, about Chicago. It is a credit to them that they've been able to constantly add or draft talent that is ready to step in for them and Steve contribute off the bench.
Yeah, no doubt about that. You think about Taj Gibson, a late first-round pick. Jimmy Butler last year really emerged as one of the best young players in the league. Great story. So terrific job by the Bulls front office in figuring out which player to take later in the first round.
Here's Taylor after the made shot from Gibson. A 3-ball. Shot's good by Pargo. Pargo's got 7 points.
He's having quite the quarter here, guys. I mean, shooting the ball extremely well.
He kicks it to Dunley. Adrian's there. Fader on the way. Here's Teague. Uses the glass to finish the lane.
Tell you what, if there's success on the boards in this first quarter is any indication, it's going to be a good day.
And rebounds usually are a good indicator.
Pargo dishes to Taylor. Passes it to Adrian. Back to Taylor. Nice pass in here by Charlotte. Shot's good by Pargo.
What a start to this game. The offense is both dominated.
Tell you what, feels like a game on the playground. Forget about defense, just keep firing.
Here's Dunleavy. And that one hits back iron. At the end of one.
Tune in next Sunday, November 24th. Derrick Rose and the Chicago Bulls take on Chris Paul and the Los Angeles Clippers. Be there.
Well, up to this point, a closely contested game as we start the second quarter. And let's quickly check out the scoring breakdown here for the Bulls.
And right from the start, guys, it's apparent they're determined to establish a presence in the paint.
You know, we've seen them bearing their fair share of mid-range jumpers tonight, too. I mean, that's a good start for them.
And a moment now to reset the lineups, courtesy of Gatorade, all fueled up for the second quarter of basketball. So for Chicago right now, they've got Taj Gibson. Heinrich is out there with Marcus Teague. Then it's Vesely.
Tell you what, it's hard to argue with the record for Coach Tom Thibodeau of the Bulls, but the rumor mill has it that the front office hasn't been happy with how hard he's ridden his top players. Luol Deng missed time last season with a hamstring injury. Joakim Noah came down with plantar fasciitis. Hey, those things happen, and I'm not quite sure you can put that at the feet of Tom Thibodeau.
And a chance here to catch up with the fourth member of our crew, Doris Burke. Hi, Doris.
Hi, Kevin. With the signing of Al Jefferson this summer, the Charlotte Bobcats have acquired the best low-post scorer the team has had in its 9-year history. Jefferson is a gym rat who's happy to take younger players under his wing, as he showed when he was in Utah. Guys, for a team that has been in rebuild mode, the Bobcats take a big step towards respectability.
Well, nowhere to go but up. Thanks, Doris.
Well, we'll see if in a new city, a new situation, he's able to take that next step.
Catching up on the changes for Charlotte. Jefferson comes in for Brendan Haywood. And it's Tolliver in for Josh McRoberts. That one is no good. And going back to Tom Thibodeau and that minutes load on his stars, it seems it's getting harder for players to weather big minute speed these days.
I think it's going to be really interesting going forward to see this Bulls team this year and beyond. Will that wear them down? Their guys play too many minutes. They've had a lot of injuries. I think it's time to scale back a little bit on the minutes played.
Teague, the pass to Vesely, and Gibson kicks to Heinrich. There's the dish to Gibson. Heinrich outside. Shot clock at 6. And the defense didn't have position. They whistle a blocking foul, and he'll go to the line.
A bit of an odd year for Kirk Heinrich, who normally is a very efficient player, but started off last season shooting way below his career norms from the floor. Ran the team pretty well, but it was kind of strange to see him shoot so poorly.
And the first one drops. And going back to Heinrich, more of a jump shooter offensively. Sometimes that shot can come in, of course, as you know, go.
Yeah, he's not the scorer that he once was in his younger days, but the main attribute for Heinrich is his defense. Just an incredible defender, great footwork, fundamentals, anticipation, and much stronger than he looks. He can guard ones and twos.
Adrian kicks to Jefferson. 2 minutes now played in the second quarter, and he was fouled on the way up. 2 free throws now for him.
And you know, the way you see Al Jefferson go to work in the post, you can see that he plays bigger than his actual size. And I think that's because he has really long arms, and he's got a lot of girth about him, so he can create space with his legs and then shoot over the top of the defense with those long arms.
And I think Big Al plays bigger than he is because he's not afraid to go into contact to create a shot. I mean, he knows that even if he is fouled, he can go up and make the shot anyway. I mean, he can play through contact, and that gives you confidence down in the low post.
And both free throws good for Jefferson.
Well, you know, when you're a team that's young and can't score, it's hard to win anywhere, especially on the road, though. The Bobcats just were often overmatched when they were on the road.
Back to Butler. Bulls moving the ball around. There's Rose with the three. Gets it to go. Rose has got 10 points in the game.
He's such a well-rounded offensive player. He's got a little bit of everything.
Going back to the Bobcats on the road, it was definitely their undoing as they ended up with a league worst 6 road wins on the season. That's just unacceptable.
Yeah, but it's just reality, too. I mean, when you don't have players who can score and attack and create offensively, you're going to struggle on the road. And they just didn't have anybody who's capable of carrying their team through the inevitable adversity that hits when you're on the road.
Butler. Back to Rose. Snell. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Now it's a 6-point Bulls lead.
They're hovering around 50% for the game in three-pointers. That's pretty good. But they've really elevated here in the second quarter.
And Sessions kicks to Jefferson. Rose attacking. Noah with a screen for Rose. Snell defended by Parker. Pass to Rose. Releases. Shot is off. And it's the Bobcats taking it the other way. Here's Pargo. He's covered by Rose. And there's the pass to Sessions. Taylor dishes it to Sessions. Tolliver for three. And once again off the mark by Charlotte.
Kind of rare to see him come up empty on a wide open look.
Rose gets to Vesely. Butler up top. Ramon Sessions with the steal. Makes the lead pass. Shot's good by Pargo.
Well, offensively, he's taken a solid opening quarter and just built on it here in the second.
Goes off the pick from Noah. Outside Rose. Pocket 6. Vesely defended by Tolliver. And they'll turn it over. Could not get off a shot. 24-second violation.
Let's see how the Bobcats have done in the NBA stats so far early in the season. 5th in fewest turnovers per game. 12th in free throw percentage. And they're in the top half of the league in blocks. That's pretty good. Not too bad.
To me, offense is all about getting good shots, and you can't get good shots unless you're taking care of the ball. And Buck, you talked about those turnover numbers, the lack thereof. I mean, that's impressive. This is a very well-coached, disciplined team.
Gerald Henderson, he's checked in for Charlotte. Gordon comes in for Gennaro Pargo. Charlotte calls timeout.
Well, I tell you what, you consider all the injuries the Bulls had last year, and you look at the 34-18 mark against the Eastern Conference, and it's absolutely remarkable considering what they had to go through personnel-wise.
Well, there haven't been many misses at the line for this group of players. This is how the shooting guards around the league stack up when it comes to free throw shooting in the past 10 games. The 4th spot held by Ben Gordon.
Yeah, this is a set of players that can drive and slash, hoping to draw contact, because if they can get to the bucket and the foul, it's an automatic three-point play.
And you know what, Steve, even if some calls go against them, you know, as a coach, you can accept it because when the calls go their way, they're automatic. Cash money at the stripe, ATM time, so it more than makes up for the charge calls they might get whistled for.
D2 from Tolliver. Nice shot from the wing. And back to the Bulls in the East. It wasn't just one guy who stepped in the shoes of Rose or the departed Ashik. It was a group effort.
You know, you looked at the roster last year, you kind of scratch your head and you go, how is this team going to get to the second round without Derrick Rose? But they did it with a group of role players, with a front line that was tough and nasty and rebounded well, and with great coaching, too.
Zeller, he's checked in for Anthony Tolliver. Boozer kicks to Dang. 6 to shoot. Puts one up from 19. And it's wide right. It's off the rim.
The defense better not make a habit of giving him that shot. I mean, he doesn't miss many of them.
Henderson, no good. Chicago leading. Outside Rose. Pass to Deck. Outside Butler. Some nice ball movement by the Bulls. Puts it up from 12. Shot's good. And that's 13 points for Luol Deng.
He's been one of their more reliable options today, guys. I mean, his shooting has led them to this lead.
The feed to Henderson. Shot off the pick. Here's Zeller. And good work on the boards that pick up the second chance points.
Boy, where was the box out? Too easy on that second chance opportunity.
Yeah, no box out is what happened there. Those kind of mistakes on the glass will kill a team.
It's stolen by Jefferson for the finish. And that basket's going to count, folks. Gets the goaltending call right there.
He thought he had that one clean, but the ref saw it differently. They'll count the basket.
Can you hear the crowd kind of murmuring? I don't think they agreed with the officials on that one.
Steve, I tell you what, they're really letting them have it.
And that drops, so they now lead by 1.
You know, in one of the more compelling postseason stories, the question about when the Bulls would bring Derrick Rose back just continued to hover around the playoffs. Ultimately, just never happened.
Rose goes in. Here's Noah. Yes, and it's Rose with the assist that time. Noah's got 5.
See the way he times his passes so well? That's a great assist.
Zeller with it. Boozer picks him up. And Zeller kicks to Sessions. Feeds to Jefferson. And Charlotte again with the bucket. Well, back to the Bulls, and even without Rose, I think the team made a big statement, Steve, with how they played in the postseason. They showed that they weren't just a one-man show with Rose running things and have a solid core and system that will always compete.
Well, it's the second straight year that the Bulls have essentially been without Rose in their playoff run due to injury. And so I think Chicago fans are kind of wondering what exactly the roof is for this team, the ceiling, if you will. Let's hope that Rose stays healthy this year, so we'll find out.
Biombo, he's checked in for Al Jefferson. Here's Rose. He's got 10. Now let's go to Doris Burke. Doris?
Gentlemen, this summer the Bulls broke ground on a new 60,000 square foot practice facility situated just east of the United Center. Starting next season, it will replace the 12-year-old Berto Center, a half-hour away in Deerfield, Illinois. The Bulls coming back downtown and doing it in style, in a state-of-the-art building with all the amenities, including a rooftop green terrace. Kevin?
Pretty impressive, Doris. Thanks. Here's Noah. Looks a big height bounce and goes in. Noah's got 4 this quarter. Guys, no one team gaining control early on.
Give and take, back and forth, the whole way thus far.
Yeah, 6 lead changes already, and as Rasheed Wallace once said, both teams playing hard, my man.
Gordon off a pick from Biombo. 5 on the clock. Handers the dishes to Sessions. From outside, off the mark.
Well, Luol Deng, an all-star for the second straight time in 2013. You know, the numbers don't jump off the page at you, but boy, is he tough and consistent and productive. He's a big part of why the Bulls remain one of the top teams in the East.
Right side, Deng. So the whistle blows on the shot and 2 free throws for the contact right there. And for Deng Clark, and you mentioned this, his number's not that gaudy, but his shooting percentages were down last season. Steve, did that surprise you?
Well, a little bit, but, you know, he had the injured wrist, but I think most importantly, Derrick Rose wasn't there to help him out offensively. But what you love about Deng is he's there every night. He plays about 40 minutes every single night, all defensive team, versatile contributor. So I don't think the numbers always tell the story for Deng.
Taj Gibson's checked in for Noah. And that's good as he hits both of his shots.
Guys, one of the biggest challenges with young teams that have started to lose is changing the culture. Being able to establish a way of working that doesn't allow losing to be accepted. This team has got a long way to go in that regard, but they're on the right track.
Zeller passes to Henderson. Gordon. From the wing. It's hauled in by Luol Deng. Chicago leading by 3. Outside Rose. Rose double team. Boozer, Henderson defending, gets the bucket. Well, the culture in the locker room is definitely a real thing to conquer if you're a franchise that's been near the bottom for a while. Steve, the Bobcats seem to understand that and are looking for guys that want to work.
I agree. That's why they drafted Michael Kidd-Gilchrist a couple of years ago, Jeffrey Taylor, Cody Zeller. They're trying to get guys that hate losing. They want to come in and build that culture you're talking about. So we'll see if some of that attitude can carry over and turn this team around.
Rose against Sessions. Rose attacking. And he's knocked off course by the D. The foul called. He'll shoot free throws. That's on Sessions.
You know, one of the things that's really hard to do in the NBA, it's actually one of the hardest things to do in the NBA, is to stay in front of Derrick Rose. I mean, it's not just his burst of speed or his quick first step, but he's got one of the meanest, nastiest, filthiest crossovers in the entire league. And then you add his strength and explosiveness in the air to that, that's lethal.
The free throw drops for Rose. And for Rose, as he returns from his knee injury, you wonder how that'll affect his ability to blow by defenders, which was such a great quality he possessed prior to the injury. Shooting from the outside is solid, but he hasn't been elite to this point in his career with that shot. So there's a lot of unknowns still about his game, and being so young, you expect it.
It's going to be an adjustment, Kevin. I mean, you have to find your confidence after an injury like that. I think he is going to be a better shooter because there was one thing he could work on while he was out. It's that outside jump shot. But we got to give him some time to just get his confidence and find his game again.
Butler kicks to Boozer. Butler. He dishes it to Rose. Boozer a screen on Sessions. Double team on Rose. Gordon against Butler. Shoots. Good as the jump shot falls. And the Bulls lead by 5. 8-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock. Sessions with it. Kicks to Henderson. He feeds it to Biombo. And Carlos Boozer gets the whistle that time. That's foul number 2 for him.
And another foul would give him 3 before the half, something to keep our eyes on.
Outside Gordon. He kicks to Zeller. 4 on the clock. Knocked loose from about 19 feet. And Ben Gordon. Gordon's got 4 points this quarter. And we're through 2 here in a good one. It's Chicago leading by 3. Folks, stay tuned for the halftime show at Damon Bruce for all the highlights from our first half.
Now, presented by Sprint.
Now let's go straight to the Monday night halftime report. The Bulls giving it everything they got. They let him hang around so far. Now it's anybody's ball game. Luol Deng's been clicking through the first 2. His shooting percentage off the charts right now. He's got the magic touch from the field, no question about it. A scrappy effort by Charlotte. Their bench making its presence felt, putting up big numbers coming in from the Pine. Excellent output from Al Jefferson in this one. He has 11 points, and his two-way play has been good. Very active on the defensive side of the floor, bothering shots and bringing that energy all over the court. And now, let's check out the other games still going on. The Denver Nuggets have the lead against the Thunder in Oklahoma City. Second half of basketball just getting started for them. And another one also in progress. The Golden State Warriors trailing the Jazz out in Utah. They're 6 points behind with some work to do. And another game going on. A close game for the Clippers at Staples Center up against Memphis. 3 points up in the second quarter. That's it for us here in the studio. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
The Sprint Halftime Report, presented by Sprint.
Well, we see here outside the United Center a statue of the great one, Michael Jordan. Welcome back, everyone, to the Windy City. We're seeing tremendous gameplay from Fargo.
How about his first half? Just easily surpassing his average point total.
On pace for a monster game. Too bad he can't score like this every night.
On the court right now for the Bobcats, Al Jefferson out there with Cody Zeller. Then there's Ben Gordon, then it's Henderson, and it's Sessions in at the point. Here's Jefferson, and so he draws the foul on the shot on trip to the line to shoot 2.
One thing Al Jefferson has worked on through his career is being able to pass better out of the post. And for a guy who draws as much attention as he does on the block, that's a nice asset to have.
That free throw good from Jefferson. And Clark, you mentioned where Al Jefferson is improved. You know, borderline all-stars. You wonder if Stevie is going to get to the next level.
Well, I think the big thing is he's got to improve defensively because his offense is really played at an all-star level. He's really tough to guard down there. But defensively, he's a little slow guarding pick and roll. But if he continues to work at it and maybe improve a little bit, I think he could get into that all-star game.
Rose kicks to Butler. 6 on the shot clock. Back to Rose. The Bulls need to get a shot off here. And it's blocked by Zeller. Whoops, there's the 24-second shot clock violation, so they'll turn it over. Charlotte trailing. Now Sessions. He passes to Gordon. Backing down is Jefferson. No good off the back of the rim.
This game has been very close in a lot of areas, but rebounding is one thing that they've been able to dominate.
Yeah, they've chased down that pumpkin often.
Boozer kicks to Butler. Shot clock at 6. Rose is covered by Sessions. Yeah, the step back. It's rebounded by Charlotte.
No breathing room at all to take that shot.
First minute and a half of basketball here in the third quarter. Gordon kicks to Sessions. Back to Gordon. For the tie, and the shot is good. Gordon's got 11 points.
Boy, they are as hot as can be from mid-range. They're getting run off that three-point line, but they're taking advantage and knocking down those middle-range shots.
Steve, they've banged home 8 of their last 10 points on pull-up jumpers. Wow, he was just wide open there. That's way too easy.
Charlotte's gone 3 of 7 tonight from three-point territory. And Sessions kicks to Henderson. Pass to Jefferson. Working on Noah. Noah with the block. Outside Rose. Back to Boozer. Butler. The dish to Noah. Defended by Zeller. The kick outside to Butler. 5 to shoot. Dang passes to Rose. Stolen by Henderson. Right side Gordon. Right around 3 minutes into the second half. And Sessions kicks to Jefferson. Pass to Gordon. 6 to shoot. And it's Chicago with the rebound. Noah's got 6 rebounds in the game.
Well, for the Bobcats, there were a lot of problems last year, and it just came down to an inability to put the ball in the basket. That's still what this game is about, Kevin. As much as we look at other statistics, you got to put it in the hole, and they just had a terrible season.
Sessions dishes to Henderson. Zeller. Now the pass to Sessions. For the lead. Charlotte again missing.
And the offense continues to struggle. Just 1 make in their 5 attempts.
Well, the ranking for the Bobcats was dead last in field goal percentage last year, Steve. Hard to get wins like that.
Well, they were the least talented team in the NBA, Kevin. And when you don't have talent, you can't force the defense to react. You can't force double teams and rotations. And so generally speaking, you're not going to get great looks at the hoop.
Charlotte calls timeout.
You know, last year, guys, I think it was in mid-February, Rose said that he wouldn't mind taking the whole year off. Usually you never hear stuff like that come out of a star's mouth, but his reasoning sounded sound. You have to listen to your body and take it from there. And everybody's a little different in how they respond, not only to an injury, but how they get ready to return and come back to the court.
And once again, off the mark by Charlotte.
Boy, from my angle, it looked like it was in the bottom of the net. Looked good from here.
Yeah, I thought so too, Clark.
And here's Sessions. Outside Gordon. Stolen by Noah. Dang passes to Butler. Dishes it to Boozer, and you can count it. He'll go to the line with a chance to make it 3. Well, you go back to Rose and his recovery from that tough ACL tear. There was a fair amount of pressure on him to return in the playoffs, especially with other Bulls players themselves, Steve, battling through injuries.
Yeah, in fact, I was vocal about it, Kevin. I said that I thought he should come back, that he owed it to his teammates, but you know, in the end, he had to feel right. He had to feel confident, and if that was not the case, then he made the right decision in holding off to play this year.
And Sessions kicks to Henderson. Henderson off the pick from Haywood. Looking to end the drought.
Basketball 101, guys. I mean, elementary. Use the screen to free yourself and then take it straight to the rack.
Yeah, very nice set play for him.
Well, that's using your head and using your body.
Chicago leading by 5. Heinrich dishes to Boozer. Heinrich up top. He's covered by Sessions. And Boozer backs in. Lock at 6. Henderson pulls it in. Charlotte's gone 0 of 2 from deep to start things here in the second half. Pass to Haywood. The feed to Sessions. He dishes it to McRoberts. And out of bounds is Chicago gains possession.
Still early on, Kevin, in this new basketball season for Chicago. Here's where they stand in the NBA ranking. First in shooting percentage. First in free throw percentage. And they're also ranked #1 in taking care of the ball. Not many turnovers. They value possessions like no other.
And the shooting is really what stands out to me. This is a team that does such a good job of finding open looks. They're unselfish. They work offensively to create good shots. And when they do that, they're on their game. They're tough to beat.
Sessions gets a screen from McRoberts. Sessions passes to Haywood. And a missed layup. Chicago leading by 5. Butler kicks to Heinrich. Feeds to Gibson. Back to Heinrich. Passes it to Butler. There's the dish to Boozer. 16 feet away. Another miss by Boozer. For Charlotte, they've gone just 25% from the field here in the second half. They're 2 of 8. Heinrich against Sessions. Kicks it to Henderson. He feeds it to Sessions. Heinrich with the steal. And now in transition is Heinrich. Here we go. And 2 shots coming up at the line as he gets fouled on the shot.
And no question, he got bumped on that shot.
Definitely no room for discussion on that one.
Bulls have gone 9 of 10 from the line, so making the most of their chances. Free throw, good Butler.
Jimmy Butler was the last pick of the first round back in 2011 by the Bulls. And last season, I tell you what, he really solidified his place in the rotation, guys. He's still developing his outside shot, but he brings an awful lot to light to the table.
The Bobcats making a switch here. Zeller's checked in. And for Jimmy Butler, what a story. Abandoned as a child, bounced around from home to home. One coach would take him in, another family would take him in. It was a very tough upbringing down in the Houston area. He overcame tremendous odds. And to be where he is today with the great attitude after a short time at Marquette, it speaks volumes of his character.
Well, it sure shows in his play, doesn't it? I mean, just the way he hustles and draws fouls, rebounds, defends. He can guard multiple positions out there. You just love his overall game and his toughness and what he brings to this team.
Heinrich outside. Dunleavy. Back to Heinrich. Shot clock at 6. Rose defended by Parker. Dunleavy. And the Bulls with another miss.
Boy, that was way behind the line. Now, he can make that at times.
He certainly is one of the guys that can actually do it from there.
Pargo kicks to Henderson. Henderson off the pick from McRoberts. Pass to Zeller. Nice D from Dang.
Great defense in the paint there, making it tough on the offense.
That's what he brings, a presence. I mean, you saw it on that miss.
Rose dishes to Gibson. The shot is off. Nice D from McRoberts. Up top, Henderson. He's covered by Dang. Here's Pargo. 16 points for him. No good from the wing. Now here's Heinrich. Dunleavy, the pass to Rose. Right side Rose. That's good. Rose has got 16 points.
Well, he's so good at recognizing where the openings are and getting the ball to the rim.
They really want to find that igniter here.
Yeah, that's right. Kevin, the offense has basically been running in place.
They got to get going. Hartle kicks to Henderson. To stop the drought. That drops. 6 points for him. The Bulls leading by 7. Rose dishes to Gibson. He drains the turnaround jump shot. Charlotte's gotten blank from three-point land so far in the third. Still 0 for 3. Here's Pargo. And it's Chicago with the rebound.
Solid job by them on the glass here tonight. +8 in rebound.
Well, you have to rebound to win, and that's exactly what's happening right now.
Here's Gibson, and they're going to count the bucket and send him to the line. It could be a three-point play.
He's a grinder. Love what he does under the offensive boards, really bringing energy and life to his team.
Charlotte making a switch here. First trip to the free throw line for him tonight. The free throw is off from Gibson.
Everybody regards Bulls coach Tom Thibodeau as a defensive mastermind, and the numbers back it up again. The Bulls were near the top in every major defensive category, protected the paint, limited fast breaks, and made sure to challenge any shot that went up.
6 to shoot. Backing down is Jefferson. Shoots from 14. That one wide left.
Great close out there, forcing the errant shot.
Well, he made it a tough shot again. He didn't give up on it, and he got a hand up.
And it's the Bobcats on the break. Here's Pargo. Some solid defense from Rose. And the Bulls, Steve, 5th in defensive efficiency last season.
And Thibodeau, knowing him, he's probably unhappy with that ranking. This team is so disciplined and hardworking. They always have a chance to be the best defense in the league.
Oh, trying for it. And they force the shot clock violation. Great D. The Bobcats making a change here. .35 seconds left in the third. And Sessions kicks to Taylor. He passes to Biyombo. Dishes it to Sessions. Six on the shot clock. Here's Pargo. And misses it off the right side of the rim. Snell. And again, no good by Chicago. Good if it goes. The shot is off. And as we end the third quarter, a double-digit deficit will make it tough to come back. Bulls lead by 11.
Tune in this Saturday night, November 23rd. The Dallas Mavericks take on Ty Lawson and the Denver Nuggets. You don't want to miss it.
And we welcome you back as we get going here in the fourth quarter. The final quarter of play can change everything. And it's out of bounds. The Bobcats will take it the other way. And here's what the Chicago Bulls schedule is looking like. They're off to Denver after this game as they apply their skills at the Pepsi Center. And that's the first of 6 played on the road.
No doubt the Denver fans want to see the Nuggets take that game.
Bobcats trail by 11. Dang and Boozer, they make up the forwards. Marcus Teague out there with Jimmy Butler. And it's Noah in at the 5 down low. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. Taylor inside. He's covered by Dang. Taylor kicks to Gordon. Launches it. It's called in by Noah. Noah's got rebound number 8 now on the night.
And in the paint, they have really shown some strength. Their work on the boards has been phenomenal.
Yeah, I'd certainly call it a mismatch, Steve, at least for today.
Jefferson attacking, and a miss there with a chance to cut the lead to single digits. Here's Teague, and a foul on the shot. He'll go to the stripe for 2. And here's a look at what's coming up for the Bobcats. Their next game playing at home as the Nets come into town. That game marks the first half of a quick 2-game homestand. And he can't get the first one for the Bobcats. Zeller, he's checked in for Jefferson. Henderson comes in for Jeff Taylor. And it's Pargo in for Sessions. He hits the second from the line. Bobcats trail by 12. Pargo the pass to Biombo. He kicks it to Gordon. Down to 5 on the shot clock. He drains it as the shot clock ticks down.
His shooting has been so good today. He may have to take it upon himself to try to get his club out of this hole.
Butler dishes to Noah. Just over a minute and a half played here in the fourth. And the pass to Dang. Fires it up. Used the shot fake to create the angle, but couldn't get it to fall. Here's Pargo. He's covered by Dang. Shoots. Gordon with another miss. Chicago leading by 10. Pass to Dang. The feed to Teague. Boozer a screen on Gordon. Teague kicks to Dang. Henderson defending. A fader. Gets it to go. 17 points for Luol Deng.
You're going to be waiting a long time if you're waiting for him to miss that when he's that open.
Charlotte calls timeout. Luol Deng really making a difference here.
He's in one heck of a groove with the scoring. They're going to talk it over and try to figure out how to slow him down.
And let's get this update now from Doris Burke, who's across the way on the sideline.
Over the break, I listened in on what head coach for the Bobcats was getting across in their huddle. He doesn't think they've been giving it their all, saying they've been quicker to rebounds, to every loose ball. We gotta wake up. The game's slipping away, and we're letting it happen. We have got to take control of this thing. We'll see if he lit a fire under him, guys.
Thank you, Doris. Jefferson kicks to Pargo. He dishes it to Henderson. From 10 feet out, it's stolen by Dang. Left side, Dang. Rose passes to Noah. Outside, Dang. Clock at 6. With the fadeaway. No good on the shot, a bit long that time. Bobcats trail by 12. Pargo dishes to Henderson. And the bucket counts, and he's on his way to the free throw line. Try to make it a three-point play.
What a play. The hoop plus the harm.
Excellent concentration on the finish. That's big time.
And that one falls for Henderson.
Gerald Henderson coming off his best season, guys. Three-point shooting was one of his weaknesses, and he made a huge leap in that area. Shot around 37% from the arc, much better than his first 3 seasons.
Rose attacking. The kick out to Dang. Henderson defending. Turnaround Jay. Again, the miss by Dang. Bobcats trail by 9. Well, going back to Henderson and then the three-point shot, despite his improvement, not one he leaned on that heavily.
Well, that's smart, because if you're not a great three-point shooter, you've got to be very selective. And more often than not, Henderson would shoot the corner 3, but avoid the longer ones. That's the sign of maturity. It's the sign of a player who understands his limitations.
Pargo kicks to Jefferson. Working on Noah. And there's Al Jefferson on the assist from Pargo. 14 points for Al Jefferson.
Really nice work inside there. He'll always give you a battle on the interior, guys.
The Bulls leading by 9. And Butler, here we go. And 2 free throws coming up as he misses that one. Drawing the whistle and a lot of contact there. It goes on Cody Zeller.
Jimmy Butler. At the line for the Bulls, 2 shots.
And he makes the first. Chicago making a switch here. Gibson's checked in. Both good from the line that time. Bobcats trail by 11. Pargo the pass to Zeller. Feeds it to Pargo. Shot clock at 5. Looking for Jefferson. He gets it there. Releases. Hits the jump hook.
And they're beginning to fall apart a little bit defensively, especially inside.
Well, that's 4 straight buckets now at the rim.
Butler goes in. Outside Rose. Left side Rose. And the shot is good. Rose has got 4 points in the quarter.
Oh, man, he goes old school on us with the finger roll.
Pargo dishes to Henderson. Passes to Zeller. Charlotte moving it around. Here's Pargo. He's covered by Rose. Stolen by Noah. Now here's Rose. The fast break opportunity. And he finishes it off with a one-handed jam.
Textbook example there of how to use defense to create offense.
Yeah, beautiful transition play after the steal all the way to the basket.
Wasted no time going from defense to offense.
And it feels like they're starting to pick up the intensity as the game itself starts to get a little more tight and close.
And it's going to be 2 free throws. Drew contact on the shot.
Well, you know, Big Al Jefferson was a name that was getting tossed around the trade rumor mill last deadline, and that's something you have to expect when you're as talented as he is with the contract that's set to expire.
That free throw good from Jefferson. And for Al Jefferson, still yet to make an all-star game. Somewhat surprising, but it seems like all the time he's often in that conversation.
And he should be. He's a top-tier big man. Ever since his arrival in this league, he's been really good on the low block. Strong and good scorer, but never quite good enough to get into that all-star game.
Chicago leading by 11. Here's Butler. The finger roll finish at the bucket.
Those defenders look like they're out of gas. I mean, they're getting pushed around on the low block.
Well, their energy is lacking. They've got to start playing harder and battle down in the paint.
Poked away. Pargo kicks to Jefferson. Outside Gordon. Rebound by the Bulls. Gibson's got his 5th rebound right now in the game. Butler with the ball. And it's Gordon picking him up. Noah with a screen for Butler. Here's Rose. And the officials whistle a foul on the shot. The bucket's good. He'll go to the line.
Well, you know, Charlotte knew they had to improve in a lot of areas, and defense was one of them. Drafted a guy like Michael Kidd-Gilchrist who can cause trouble, but unfortunately they still have a lot of work to do as they were still one of the worst defensive teams in the league in efficiency.
Well, Clark, as you said, the Bobcats started to add more defensive players to their roster, but had a lot of trouble in a lot of different areas. Gave up, Steve, way too many threes, the 2nd worst defensive three-point percentage in the NBA.
Yeah, the defense is going to have to improve, Kevin. There's no question. It's going to be a team effort. You've got to have 5 guys on the floor committed. It's going to take some time, but they've been drafting defensive-minded players, and that should help.
Chicago calls timeout. Sessions checked in for Charlotte. Boozer passes to Rose. Back to Boozer. The dish now to Rose. Ramon Sessions with the steal. He feeds it to Henderson. Rebound by Butler. Butler's got 6 rebounds in the game.
Well, he hasn't had much success shooting the ball, but it's not too late for him to get it turned around and start contributing.
And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
Check out the stats for Butler. He's got 8 points, and he's done a good job distributing the ball as well.
Well, you can't discount what that's meant to this team. I mean, he's helped their cause with his passing, and it's really given his team a nice groove.
The first free throw is good. And so Butler nails both of them. Here's Sessions. Clark, they've been looking out of sync offensively.
You know what? A basket here would do a lot for their confidence.
Henderson dishes to Jefferson. Can he keep it going? The shot no good. And it's Chicago the other way. Stolen by Henderson. Wasted no time on that one. Henderson's got 5 points in the quarter.
There's been a change in his game compared to what we saw in the first half. I mean, he's scoring with a lot of confidence now.
Rose kicks to Butler. Pass to Boozer. Dishes to Rose. Rose off the pick from Boozer.
The defense did a pretty good job of closing off the middle once he got inside the lane.
Jefferson setting the pick for Gordon. Kicks to Sessions. The pass to Jefferson. It's good, and he drew contact on the shot, so he will go to the line. A 3-point play chance here. And a moment to look at the scoring approach in terms of where the points are coming from for the Bulls.
They've been the aggressors, and they've been tougher in the paint all game.
They've also done a lot of good work in the post tonight. That's certainly been an advantage as well. The story in the first half was their low free throw percentage. They've corrected that here in the second half, and hopefully they can build on it as this game continues to progress.
Sessions against Rose. Back to Butler. Outside Rose. He passes to Boozer. Just 4 to shoot. He's against Zeller. And the rebound goes to the Bobcats.
Boy, they needed that last rebound. They haven't done well on the boards overall, but that one was huge.
Still fighting for the win here. Gordon kicks to Sessions. Puts up the baby hook. That is good. They got on this roll a while ago, and they just haven't looked back. And so here is Chicago. Got a piece of it. Stolen by Henderson. One-on-one here. There's the killer two-handed slam.
Oh, man, they needed a run to get back into this game, and they got it.
And a good one, defensively and offensively. It's been a terrific stretch for them.
And there's a minute 45 left in the fourth quarter. Butler passes to Rose. And that basket is going to count. Goaltending, the official call.
He didn't get to that one quite in time, Kevin. Those can be tough to gauge sometimes.
Charlotte calls timeout. They're behind by 9. 1:31 left in the fourth quarter of this one. 1:31 left here in the fourth quarter. Sessions dishes to Henderson. He kicks to Jefferson. Outside Gordon. And Charlotte again with the bucket.
Excellent ball movement there, guys.
Yeah, I think that's what's keyed this run, Clark, because they're keeping the ball moving. Defense hasn't been able to set up.
Sessions against Rose. Pass to Noah. Back to Rose. 6 to shoot. And lots of contact there. Missing the shot. He'll shoot 2. That's on Sessions. And despite the fact they've been beaten on the board, this one is still close.
Kevin, they're still in.
Gets the first. That stretches their lead to 8.
Boy, you have to like how he's challenging the defense now in the second half. Getting to the line for a lot of free throw opportunities.
So he goes 2 for 2 at the line. And it's a 9-point ball game here. The Bobcats shooting in the fourth quarter has been efficient at 56%. Back to Jefferson. Carlos Boozer pulls it in. The Bulls have gone 7 of 13 from the field here in the fourth. Noah with the screen on Sessions. Butler off a pick from Noah. And Butler, here we go. Pulls up. And he knocks down the jumper. And the Bulls lead by 11.
Boy, they're extending their lead. It kind of feels like they're just piling on here as we come to an end.
Well, hey, let's just call it what it is. They are trying to run it up on them.
And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. They put on a show tonight, thoroughly controlling each end of the floor.
Hey, what more can you ask?
And that'll do it for Clark Kellogg, Steve Kerr, and Doris Burke. This is Kevin Harlan. Thanks for watching this presentation of the NBA on 2K Sports. And now we present the Jordan Player of the Game, Derrick Rose.